things are changing a lot, which is pretty awesome. We've been doing this for 6 years. Things are way different. We got a lot more folks here tonight at year 6 than we did at the first year anniversary. Before I go on too long, I want to introduce Todd Haug, our head brewer. He's straight from Germany playing at a beer fest. He slept like 7 hours in the last 8 days. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't sleep. But he's the guy that's brewed the beers, and someone was asking me to so do you and Todd talk a lot about your anniversary beers before you brew them? And I'm like, no, we don't talk at all. So Todd brews them. So Todd, why don't you come on up and talk about this delicious beer? It's delicious. It's a lot of tasty ingredients.
That's a great. Thanks, Omar. Great setup. And I criticized Omar for doing this after we've all been drinking it. Like, everybody here knows what the crap it tastes like. So obviously it's in typical surly fashion. It's polarizing. I often say if everybody liked all of our beers, it wouldn't be surly. That goes from Furious, which we started brewing a little over 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago now. We didn't think anybody would like that. In fact, Omar had sales samples spit out in front of him on sales calls. And now it's become our biggest seller. We can't make enough of it. We can't procure enough hops. That's about to change next year, so we're going to be able to brew more of it. So that's great. But so in typical surly anniversary beer fashion, we like to do things in the brew house that we would kind of in a, homebrew fashion, which Omar can relate to. Award-winning homebrewer here. Try stuff that you probably shouldn't, or for various reasons, try in the brew house. It's not efficient. It's not going to necessarily. You've never done it before, so a lot like how a chef might try some things in the kitchen, and it might work, it might not, but more importantly, you're going to learn something. So that's what the anniversary started out as. So this particular one, we had 5 years of dark, on the black side, kind of robust. We did really well for a number of years on getting them out on time. Last year when we did 5, we got behind because that beer was time intensive. So we were behind out of the gate on 6 as far as the release date. But after 5 years, we're like, hey, let's make something that's absolutely not black and not at all sweet. And in fact, let's try and make something that's stronger alcohol-wise than we've ever done. None of our equipment, our yeast, doesn't like any of what we've created here. So we had to bring in different yeast.
It wasn't a good idea in any manner.
Exactly.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, not a good idea.
So
luckily, Omar keeps me locked up in a cage with a guitar and metal boombox.
It's a rusty cage, but whatever.
So we wanted to make 50% beer that was dry, not sweet, and pale. So we started out the beer. We did a continual fermentation. It's another thing we've never done is we started the fermentation with a partial kettleful and started the yeast. And while it was still in that nice window of primary fermentation, we just continually fed it. So we did that and started out where our brew house is 30 barrels. We started with less than that and slowly built it up. It's kind of like doing a yeast starter, but on a big scale. In a controlled environment with minimal oxygen and temperature control to keep the esters down. So we could keep the yeast happy so that we wouldn't know any better and just keep going right to 15%. We didn't realize that our wort composition was fairly dextrinous. That's a fancy word for not fermentable. It wants to stay sweet. It doesn't want to be dry. So Jared and Cal suggested we bring in these enzymes that we use in Cynic. These enzymes are the same thing that happened in the mash naturally, but when you bring them in a different stage of the process, you can make diet beer like Miller Lite, you can make a Irish Dry Stout, you can make really light, delicate beers that don't have cloying sweetness, and which is great, but if you bring them in too late, you can't denature them. They're just going to keep working. So that's what we did. So basically brought the beer from 10, 12% all the way to 15%, which ended up in a bone dry. I mean, it finished at close to 0 Plato, which, I'm not a huge fan of cloying, huge strong ales. So everybody's been asking about what's going to happen to this beer when we age it. It's going to get sweeter. It's going to round out some of the harsh character from the wood, the alcohol, and it's very highly hopped, bitterness-wise and dry hop. That's going to mellow out. So it's going to, in a year or two, it's going to be more like American strong ale or American barley wine. Right now, it's unlike anything I've had.
Balls deep!
Yeah, exactly. What that guy said. And then the next thing is the wood. We've been working with Black Swan Cooperage up in northern Minnesota for years. They make barrels for wineries, distilleries, breweries. And oak is used to make barrels because it holds liquid. Everybody's like, well, what oak did you use? We didn't use any oak. Everybody uses oak. That's easy. We wanted to go with flavors that come from different species of wood. And you can't make a barrel because the grain pattern goes the wrong way and it would just leak out. So why is there no apple wood barrels? Well, because they would leak all your distillate or beer or wine out. So me and Mike Hoops at Town Hall have been working with Russ at Black Swan for 2 years on trials for different wood species. And he's done a great job at creating a product that allows extraction inside of a keg or a cask or a stainless steel tank. And allows you to control it. So we brought 6 different wood species into this one, and they are apple, cherry, ash, maple, hickory, and Peter says soft and hard maple. I don't know. Yeah, no ash. So, I mean, all wood species, we all probably have growing in our yard in Minnesota. So the idea is, it's Minnesota, it's 6 of them, it's our 6th year. And then we dry hopped it. Just to finish it off, we said, let's add more hops. Let's dry hop it. More hops! With, I think, 4 different varieties. Styrian Goldings, Glacier, Cascade, Omar's favorite. And what other one, Peter? Oh, here's no. Got that one. All right, anyways, 4 different hop varieties. So this brings us to this point.
Cheers!
Cheers!
So if you like the beer at Sterling, give it up for the brewers and Todd Haug. Shirley brews the best beer in Minnesota, and I give that all to Todd Haug. He's